Good evening, everyone. System Chalk here with what I hope is the 23rd episode of Cultist Simulator, the Exile. Hopefully at least the video will be properly labeled, but it's been a bit of an adventure. So the good news is I'm mostly at the end of my my little quest to give you, or to get some videos done. There's one more big one, but I feel like I'm going to be able to, I don't know. I feel like I'm looking at the end of all the trouble. So we're in Kyiv. So as soon as I step off the train, I smell blood. I turn my head. Nothing. Only smoke and sweat. I must have imagined it, but there it is again. That red copper. So the one challenge that I have here, and I'm not 100% on how the mechanic works, but because this place is troubled, there is one mechanic I do know that would be at play here, but it's not one that I want to follow up on. So what is probably going to happen, I'm likely not going to be able to capitalize on my my medical practice like I was planning on. We'll see, but generally I think troubled regions have some difficulty in terms of getting kind of getting a payday, I guess, for lack of a better term. But there's a couple things we're going to do. So first of all, I want to collect my the money I sent ahead. So I should retrieve the cash I sent ahead. And then what I want to do here is take advantage of the Lady of Wires, as well as the any exploration I can do in the city. If nothing else, at a minimum, I want to walk away with at least one more cash for my efforts. So, Our Lady of Wires, whatever Our Lady of Wires might be, it has chosen Kyiv for its feeding grounds this year. So this is a distraction, it's an opportunity, and it's a Legion presence. I don't know precisely what the Legia Club is, but all Reckoners do know that its members are older and hungrier than any of our mobs. We've learned to avoid them. That's a reservation. So I suppose I would need to talk to get that sorted. I've sent cash ahead. I can retrieve it once I arrive. So let's send out let's go for the destination first. If I run, I should run somewhere I have an old friend, or at least an old acquaintance. This allows you to find a place to flee to. There's a small risk of traces. Worse, the Reckoners might get there before you. So I wish I had a way of preserving my tranquility, because that is going to be what I use to make some money. Again, I want at least one cash out of the work so I can get out of here. And we have Stalingrad as an option. So one worry I have, right, is that we're moving deeper into regions where I'm either going to get to the edge of the map, or I'm going to have trouble. Basically, the worry that I have is that I'm going to wind up crossing deserted territory. But, well, we do what we can, right? So the criminal adepts called the Bird Eaters have set their faces against the laws of both Man and Mansis. I'd heard that Zofia, the barber, had joined them in Stalingrad. The Bird Eaters are not good people, but I always like Zofia. So I am going to be moving into another troubled region, which isn't great. But the question is, am I willing to give up Stalingrad? Ooh, that has a fairly high cost expense-wise. Okay, so the first decision I need to make is Stalingrad the sort of thing I'm willing to give up? And I'll be honest, I don't remember if I've ever been there. Clearly, there's the Shrine to the Colonel, and I have that in Kyiv. No, I don't have that in Kyiv. Huh, I thought I did. Yeah, okay, so look, I'll be honest here. The worry that I have is that I'm going to have to spend money going to a place that I'm not going to be able to earn a lot of money. But that's probably not the right way to think about this. So I am going to reconnoiter Kyiv. Walk the city seeking opportunities. Sometimes this will create a trace. Let's have a conversation. So, seek out a Legion. Like me, Legions are criminals and fugitives. Unlike me, they've been cursed eternally because they devoured their children fresh from the womb. Still, perhaps we can find some common ground. The hour of the long spoon. If I seek out a Legion without bringing a gift, I'd better hope she's in a good mood. Legions are sometimes, but not often, in a good mood. So, we'll offer the Reckoner Corpse. So I'm rushing to find an office just because this tranquility is expiring. Okay, connection with radicals. Not the sort of thing I want right away, so we'll follow that up. Add an unknown foe weakness to learn its nature. If you don't, the Legion will give you a gift or eat a Reckoner without leaving a trace, although she won't notice informants and won't go after the foe. Okay, let's go after the gift then. We don't even have the option of exploring the foe's weaknesses at this point. Not looking good for the tranquility, if I'm completely honest. Gift from marionettes. Stained gloves. At first I think they're still warm. After a little while I realize they'll always be warm. Well, at least it's a pentiment, and it does give me Grail aspect, so... I mean, compared to what I could have gotten, which would have just been a vitality from the Reckoner Corpse, I think that's a decent trade-off. Don't need the profane weapon, so we more or less lost the tranquility at this point. I may want to just start sending cash ahead, to be honest, but... okay. We may take advantage of the Quiet Warehouse, depending on what my options are. The Quiet Warehouse would be if I wanted to run the counterfeiting operation. But at this point, maybe it would be better for me to go into the Fight Club. So I think if I want to make money from the connection with the Holy Man, that would be more mothy, so I'm going to avoid using that. Okay, sunset will help. Sunset, when the light is richer. Now this only has 14 seconds, so it's probably just as well for me to use that right away. But the challenge, of course, is unless I have the medical practice, that tranquility is not going to last forever. It's been a long time since I knew peace. This could be a fresh start. Okay, there's the trace. We've got faith. I am happy about the course of the heart, though. The city seeking opportunities. Alright, just one slip. I've been careful, but not careful enough. A trace on the board will sometimes draw reckoners. So I have a couple of ideas about how I'm going to handle this. I am going to go aggressive on the new arrival when the time comes. Okay, the discreet office will help. So this is my opportunity to make a bit of cash. Another course of the heart. So I actually have a very specific idea about how I'm going to handle this. So we'll take the medical credentials, the discreet office, and a stolen year. On the doctor's practice, and in this case I'm going to put the vitality in first. that tingling sensation on the back of my neck. Someone is looking for me. The more traces on the board, the more quickly your pursuers will be able to move against you. Reinforcements. Reckoners have evidence that I'm here. They're summoning help to smoke me out. So I'm going to switch out the tranquility for vitality. So we are... Ugh, it's not worth a whole lot. I'm addressing this challenge with heart. This will increase subtlety. So I'm still short of where I need to be. But at least it's a start. I'm avoiding following up with the radicals just because I want... hopefully we have an assassin, that'll be easy to deal with. There. Okay, light in the skull. We've got Dawn, so that's good for another tranquility. Patients come and go at my doctor's practice. Next. Alright, excellent. So we're going to start with a shot from the profane weapon. I'm actually going to preserve the newer tranquility. And here we're going to use Dominicus to hold off the assassin. I want to give him a little experience. Palpable hit. I've struck and faded back into the city. 2 wounds will kill most reckoners, 4 wounds will kill an underboss. Okay. I'm gonna do something very bold soon. My pursuers stymie. A friend has lent me their protection. I also think it would not be a bad idea to start sending cash to Stalingrad, because we're clearly not going to be staying here very long. Associate has defended me, which was decent of them, but now the Reckoner mob has more clues to follow. Okay, so I'm going to throw Heights into the mix this time. Ill met. This one is better or luckier than I'd expected. I've done them no harm, so a shame. But I have another opportunity. So this thing takes 90 seconds. I'll add the vitality. Ooh, do I add the vitality or the tranquility? Let's try and keep the tranquility going. I got lucky. Sometimes Reckoner attacks fail. Palpable hit. I've struck and faded back into the city. 2 wounds will kill most reckoners, 4 wounds will kill an underboss. It's done. If I need to run, I might have a soft landing. So I'm going to send at least one more off to Stalingrad. We've got another reckoner corpse here. And I'm going to try and draw this out for another 60 seconds. Drat, we've got another reckoner on us right away. Delighted to see you looking so much better. Okay, so this vitality is only going to last me so long. What I was thinking was this would be a good opportunity to try and fight the foe. But unfortunately I don't have... Well, there's a couple things that I can do. So we'll renew the faith, we'll sell off the office. I get another chance for some tranquility. Or no, I don't, because the dawn will pass by the time that I sell the item. Okay, and then in 7 seconds... Ooh, sunset. Okay. One more out to Stalingrad. Hesitation. My pursuers, cautious or cowardly or uncertain of their proof, have done nothing yet. Okay, this is going to be utterly ridiculous. It's actually also going to destroy my obscurity. Oh, because I have the obscurity. Now, the deadliest of weapons. No reckoner is ever foolish enough to pass to the higher levels of the Mansis, to draw attention of the true long, but their masters would invite annihilation. But my foe has some traffic with the hours of struggle and conquest. He enjoyed certain protections, so... Even my foe has weaknesses, but he's guarded them carefully. Ah, that's how I get the Temptation Defiance. I probably could have got an extra level out of that. I know there's a way to, like, send a "come on and get me, you coward" message. I may just want to get out of town at this point. The vitality's wasted. Corvality is the Tengeni word that adepts use to mean both the Edge Hours and the Edge Hours' endless striving. Like most reckoners, have stayed well away from that. I can tell my foe where I am, or even send him a gift. Reinforcements. Reckoners have evidence that I'm here. They're summoning help to smoke me out. Honestly... Okay, so I've got a couple of options here. I can... Yeah, you know what? Okay. I'm probably going to regret this. But... the writing on the envelope is crisp and clean. My hand does not shake. Foe will be here very soon. Perhaps he already is. Your defiance is fiercer now. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to reconnoiter Kiev. I'm going to attack him with the sacred weapon. Oh. He needs to show up. He needs to show up first. Confronting me, he too has become a target, but not an easy one. So I'm going to use Faith for a start to see... Right now we're getting some intelligence in terms of what the foe's weaknesses are. The remaining question is, do I want to keep anything else? And I think the answer there is no. So we head out to Stalingrad. My train leaves at dawn. Have I forgotten anything? So we may take some wounds, but the point here is I had some vitality to heal that with. Old habits. As I long suspected, my foe's upbringing has left its mark. He is not a believer, but he is bound by his respect for the forms of faith. I wounded him. Don't think that will stop me. So this isn't going to last forever, but this is a good start. Foe is stalking me. Even when I can't see him, I know he's there. He'll attack at any moment. I should have gone for a more aggressive attack then. If Ro is striking, you should have run for it. We're going to be out of the city before he strikes. Let's use Faith again. Well, okay. I've actually changed my mind. I'm going to try with Heights. A guttural chuckle. Long way down. So, because I'm going to get the vitality... Oh, I avoided taking a wound. Man, I got lucky there. Okay, so Stalingrad. Lovely, wintry Stalingrad. Through the darkness into a new day, I've gone far enough that the Reckoners will have to look harder than usual, unless they're already here. Now, I suppose there might have been another thing I could have picked up in Kiev, because it occurred to me I didn't really reconnoiter all that much. But we did get a wound on the foe, and more importantly, we don't have any wounds ourselves, so I can actually do that trick again if I don't feel like I have good opportunities. Oh, we should also be able to... Well, sorry, I do want to realize the potential, but there's other things I need to do in Stalingrad first. Arrival. The bird eater's lair in a burnt-out church. I'm certain that I see a great serpent, shining like wet leather, slither away from the rubble as I approach, but Zulfia and others insist that it was nothing. So, medical practice is looking like a fairly remote possibility, but you never know. So let's grab our money first. Sophia never goes anywhere without her scissors. I was wondering where that obscurity came from, but then it occurred to me that that's because like, you get that from Stalingrad. If I run, I should run somewhere I have an old friend, or at least an old acquaintance. So what we're going to do, we'll talk to Zulfia, Dominicus, pretty much have to give up on the medical business. Is it Sverdlovsk? Zofia the barber used to buy life from me with jewels in the city of Sverdlovsk. She turned strange and moved on to another city, but she introduced me to some of her contacts before the Civil War. So many troubled regions. I have a feeling this is also going to cost 2 funds to get to. Yeah. So I have a feeling I'm draining out my years for little gain at this point. Sophia fastens on me eagerly. I want you to bring in the wood, she insists. Bring me what you find to drink the knowing knot. Okay, knowing knot nest. There is a dark wood that presses against the windows of the sleeping mind. There is a nest in the branches woven of black silk and white hair. Sophia has prepared a feast for me to take there tonight and inked something on the skin of my back, which she claims is a map I must not see. So, I mean, everything here tells me that this is going to be moth-oriented. The question is, what is the intensity of moth? I think at this point I'm going to need to wait until I get a few local contacts. Which I realize is a little unusual for me, but I'm just, like... I've usually jumped in with both feet for this stuff. I just don't really see a way how... Given how previous expeditions have worked, I quite literally have no other moth other than Zulfia. And clearly it wouldn't be a caper if I could just pass it with the one individual. So I think I'm going to have to find some local contacts here to make this work. Which is a shame, because that means I wind up wasting the tranquility and the vitality, but that's life, right? Alright, we've got traces already. Oh, we were going to upgrade Dominicus. Potential realized. I can talk with my ally about what they've learned. This will add a point to your ally's aspect. Wolf Divided's Shadow is interesting because of its winter and its edge, but neither of which I really need right now. Okay, the Underworld connection will let me do the fights. I think I'm actually going to grab that right away. It's also time to burn another decade. Stolen Life is more easily sold by the year than by the decade. I have the tools to make the necessary changes, but I must be very careful with my pen strokes. She who comes before the sun looks unkindly on sloppiness. So I'm going to have to find a use for that Reckoner corpse before too long. Alright, the Underworld... Man, the Underworld probably gives me what I need for the Moth, so... as much as I want to make some money, I think it's probably better that I take the opportunity, to be honest. So, begin a caper. Let's add Zulfia for the start. Get in, get the goods, get out. I don't think it's ever been that simple. Experience is the best spice. I didn't really believe it until now. At last it's done. I've drawn up 10 careful drafts against the tally. I'd burnt the decade draft. Each of my new drafts is worth 42 million human heartbeats. I fancy I can hear them trembling in the paper. Okay, well this will be good for the tranquility. Ready, 3 momentum means success. There will be complications before that. The way to where I go requires something like a ritual or a feast. I'd like to think of it as a party, though it's not the kind of party I'd choose. I'll need to keep a level head, weird intoxications or not. If I can't, I'll come back with nothing more interesting than a hangover. Now that requires winter or grail. Now that's a little bit of a shame, because grail is one of the things I need for the... Actually, you know what? We can add Dominicus. It's a little overkill, but okay. So you may wonder why not add the tranquility. Actually, I'll add tranquility temporarily, but I'm trying to save it in case I get the office. Since I knew peace. Could this be a fresh start? The Fane of the One-Armed. An abandoned grain silo has been adopted by a secret cult honoring an odd hero, the one-armed Briton who stormed the city for the White Russians, alone in a single tank. Perhaps he is now a name, perhaps he's only dead, but those who venerate the Colonel remember him. I'm pretty sure the Corvality ending that I've gotten is actually the Lionsmith one, even though I feel a closer affinity to the Colonel. But as much as I don't like letting comments go by, some of you got to see the incredibly overwrought reaction to me telling someone to basically stop telling me how to play the game for quote-unquote missing the shrine. Suffice to say, for those of you who think I'm making a mistake by not visiting this, I am 90% sure that it's because you don't know about one of the endings you can get in this. So there are absolutely reasons why players will want to visit these shrines or not visit these shrines. But I'm also pretty sure most of you who know the game know what I would be going for by not visiting that particular shrine. Oh, purchase an unsettling doll. It'll be back, the seller informs me gloomily. Do what you can with it in the meantime. Okay. A moth curio is very welcome when I'm on a moth mission. Of course, I've already committed some resources here. Old and happy far off things. And done. So this is worth 4 moth and 2 grail. So obviously if I can keep the... So we need 8 moth here. Thorn caressing branches, the scents of darkest green, furred movements beneath my hand, the black and beating darkness. The wood runs close beneath the skin of the world here. And the Reckoner corpse is done in 36 seconds, so I think I'm just going to eat it. So we'll take the Threadbare Angel. Sadly, none of this really counts as comfort. But it will help me... It will help me do things. But at this point I've committed to trying to make money one way or another. Quiet Warehouse is an interesting possibility, but I won't pick it up quite yet. I may want to do something else. Reinforcements. Reckoners have evidence that I'm here. They're summoning help to smoke me out. Okay, so I need to find 2 more moth, and actually the restlessness will help me here, so I'll use trickery. Now I face an enigmatic ordeal. There are 2 ways through. Understand everything, or understand nothing. So, as much as I'd like to use Lantern, I do not have the ability. This wasn't a tidy or a pleasant process, but I have developed my understanding of the many kinds of mortal action. So, I think I gotta leave it here. This feels a little rote, but honestly at this point we really managed to get through on the mission here. What I'm probably gonna do is the Underworld. I'm gonna run the Fight Club. And the reason why I want the cash is because, well, if I'm going to another troubled area, I actually don't need the money, because I'm not gonna be able to find... I don't know. I should probably make a bit of cash before I leave here. But suffice to say, the real worry that I have right now, and I was talking about in previous entries, we've done well in terms of collecting a bunch of resource that we can employ towards capers and such. But I'm really struggling to keep my money. I mean, I am running into the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics trying to make money, so I suppose this is on me for taking this approach. But yeah, this is the big challenge that I'm running into right now. And I sort of need to decide, like, so for instance, with this obscurity that I have, is there a way that I can get past the Reckoners and like move to the new location without losing the obscurity? Because I used Zulfia, the answer is no, because I'm going to need a minute to be able to deliver the goods to her. But yeah, the idea here right now is to just try and get to a point where I can, I can make a little bit of money, maybe even just boost up my obscurity, right? That's an option as well. But one way or the other, basically, I'm trying to build up my comfort at this point. And if I get a chance to maybe do a few extra hits on the foe, so much the better. Although honestly, here I think this foe's wound is probably just gonna, just go away without being harmed. But either way, I mean, we're doing all right. We don't have any wounds. We've been managing to hold off the enemy, and honestly, we've got 61 years left, so we've got plenty of time in terms of being able to work out our new approaches. But yeah, I probably need to start thinking about how I'm going to start making money again. Anyways, we will deal with all of that in Friday's episode. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.